Hi folks, welcome to Pulse of St. Pete's. I'm your host Brian Lamore. On today's show, we'll be talking with the wellness department at St. Peter's Hospital. They have a whole department that is concerned about you being well, maybe keeping you out of the hospital with a few lifestyle changes. We'll be talking about the different programs they have and the different offerings and classes so that you can have that healthy lifestyle. And of course, maybe you start up front and you can define what that healthy lifestyle is so you can enjoy Montana so much more. Of course, we have a wonderful guest on the Pulse of St. Pete's. We have Martha Poell. Welcome to the show. You're a wellness nurse.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. I am. I'm a nurse in the wellness department at St. Pete's. I've been there about between 8 and 10 years. And
Boy, that's great.
Yeah.
So you've probably seen a lot of expansion in the wellness department, but you know, maybe the viewers like I are wondering, like, what is a wellness department?
Right. I think we have kind of a low profile in the hospital, but we are a busy department. We have a lot of dynamic people working in there. We have a lot of energy and a lot of things going on. Where we're most likely to be seen is doing some of the events that we do around town. We are organizers for a large event in the summer called the Family Fun Fest. We do events large and small in the hospital and out in the community as well. So we do that. We also, the community ed department falls under our department as well. So we organize classes for Safe Sitter and parenting, Quit for Life. Those programs are all organized through our department. And then there's a workplace wellness program where we load up our van and take our clinic out and about in the community and do workplace wellness for organizations in the Helena community. So lots going on all the time.
Keeps you busy, right?
It does.
And I imagine people can access your website to find out the different classes, different programs, and you know, if you'd like the wellness people to come to your business or your organization and talk to them, you're available, right?
Absolutely. We'd love to have a chance to visit with anyone who has questions about anything wellness and prevention, and if we can help, great. If we can't, we'll do what we can to refer them on. But yep, to call the wellness department would be the way to go if they were interested in the workplace wellness program.
Oh, that's
absolutely.
Great. Well, you know, Martha, we're just coming off New Year's, and I go to the health club, and the parking lot's full, but it's starting to thin out. And we had New Year's resolutions. What can you tell me about them? Maybe what are the top resolutions that people make?
Sure. You know, we're about a month into the new year now, and so some of those resolutions have maybe started to fade a little bit. So it's probably a good time to address it and talk about what the new what the resolutions are, and maybe how we can address those. This is a report from Nielsen. That's the group that does Nielsen TV ratings, and they do lots of surveys and things like that. But for this year, Nielsen found out that the #1 resolution, and this won't be a surprise, is to stay fit and maintain health. 37% of their respondents put that as #1. Yeah. And that's really what wellness in our wellness department is all about. So it really fits in with what we're doing. #2 was to lose weight. Kind of goes hand in hand with #1, but also something that we really do a lot of work with in our wellness department. And #3 was enjoy life to the fullest. So wow, they're all tied right in there. So
so you know, their #1 was to maintain. What was that? The maintain wellness?
Maintain or stay fit and healthy.
Stay fit and healthy. And you know, one of the things about healthy is you really don't realize you're healthy till you're not. And maybe that's only when it becomes important. I mean, beforehand, you really don't realize the benefits of being healthy. It's just normal, right?
You don't realize the benefits of being healthy. You're right. We take that a bit for granted. We walk around on a daily basis, not thinking about how lucky we are to be able-bodied. And unfortunately, a lot of times we have risk factors that are a little bit hidden too. We don't always know that our blood pressure is high, or that our cholesterol is high, or what our family history is on in certain aspects. So our department aims to do screenings, pick up on things that that might be risk factors that can be caught early, maybe with some lifestyle changes can prevent some debilitating things down the road.
And you know, we always talk about, you know, having a relationship with your physician, and that they do some testing and some screenings for you. But now the wellness department is offering some testing and screenings at a more of a discounted price. And if the individuals can contact you, you can line them up for that. What are some of those screenings?
That's a great point. And there are plenty of people in our community who aren't connected with a primary care provider. You know, they've been healthy all their lives and haven't needed to be connected. So for those people who are interested in coming in and getting tested, we can certainly help them with that. If they're interested, if anyone in the community would like to just get a simple blood test for cholesterol, we can do that through our office for $15 to anybody in the community. There's about 5 or 6 blood tests that are just general screening tests that we can do. We'll also we could do a height and a weight and figure out what a body mass index is to see if you're overweight. And then we can do a full comprehensive screening, which includes a nice report and a blood test, height and weight, blood pressure, the whole deal. So those are all available through our office, and we'll give you the contact information as we move along, I guess, in the program today. But for anyone who's interested in any of those, we'd be happy to help out and get them connected.
You'll work with them, and
absolutely.
It's important to know what's going on with your body. I remember someone said that basically our body's a chemical producing factory, and sometimes things go off, and blood testing is testing the chemicals and what is good, what is bad, and how can we adjust our lifestyle. Now, you mentioned one of the top resolutions was getting fit and being healthy. You help people to figure out how to get fit and how to be healthy?
Well, and we definitely have programs through the hospital that can help with that. We have a program called the Inch by Inch program, which is it's a diabetes and cardiovascular disease prevention program. It requires a doctor's prescription, so you just need to go through your doctor. All doctors in town here in Helena know of it and can refer you if you like. We also do have some exercise programs for people with arthritis. There are pool classes for people with arthritis and that type of thing as well. There are plenty of different classes out there that we'd be happy to connect people with if they're interested in using our resources to help meet those resolutions.
Right. Well, kind of the wellness, we need wellness because we become unwell, I guess. But what are some of the major factors that people are unwell, or that the risks that they're facing for different organs or their health?
Well, the number one health issue for Americans, and actually globally, is heart disease. I mean, large amount, it's number one killer for both men and women in the United States. So it's something that we really need to be paying attention to. Things that could lead to heart disease and can be caught early are things like being overweight, having a little bit of high blood pressure, or having high cholesterol. Those are all things that can be picked up in wellness screenings and prevention programs that you may not even realize you have. And better to catch it early when you can make some lifestyle changes rather than to wait until you're starting to exhibit symptoms and maybe not moving as well as you had been before. So that's a big one for us, cardiovascular. Diabetes is another one. It's a disease that can largely be prevented, type 2 diabetes. If we can pick up on signs of high glucose in your blood and also obesity or being overweight, if we can pick up on those things and bring it to the attention of the individual, get them on track to make some lifestyle changes, we hope that can be prevented down the road. So those are the two big ones that we deal with in prevention, but certainly stroke, cancers, heart attack, all fit into that same.
Yeah, but when you say those things, I think that people never intentionally do an unhealthy lifestyle, never intentionally do it. I think it's all unintentional. So part of the wellness has to be education. And it isn't painful to have a healthy lifestyle if you focus on it being fun. And I imagine that's what you need to do in wellness. You need to define where they're at, define different ways that they can come better in balance, and then enjoy doing that, right?
Right, absolutely. I mean, nobody wants to, we're talking about hopefully affording someone a good, long, healthy, happy life. And if it doesn't make someone happy to have to change their lifestyle, it's not going to work. And so we're looking for small changes that can be fun, that can just be incorporated into every day. When we're talking about dietary changes, it doesn't mean that you can't ever again eat chocolate cake or whatever that food is. It's just to make changes, maybe to stay away from processed foods a little bit more on a regular basis, or to pack those fruits and vegetables in 5 or 6 days a week and splurge that 7th day. So there are lots and lots of little things that can be really major changes as far as things down the road go. And if you can lose 10 pounds and not necessarily all 50 at once, it's a huge move in the right direction.
It's just starting to have an awareness of it and then making some simple little changes. I took the inch-by-inch class through the state, and I really enjoyed it. And
Yep.
I was actually thinking today how it's changed my eating habits, you know, a lot less ice cream.
Right.
But I can still occasionally have some.
And the nice thing about programs like that is that, you know, all the information may not be pertinent to your particular situation, but you have the support of people around you, and you learn so many different things. It's not just about reading food labels. It's about how to restructure your kitchen cupboards and how to behave when you're in a restaurant, you know, to just keep mindful eating.
Yeah.
You know, you need to be aware of things around you. So anyway, it's a great program with lots of information that you can pick and choose from what pertains to your particular situation.
Well, you know, Martha, we've sort of spoken about choices that we can make as an individual to have a healthier lifestyle, but sometimes some of the choices, I guess they're made for us through genetics or family history, and
Right.
how much control do we have over those? I mean, first we have to become aware of them, I guess, but then how can we?
Right, exactly. If you have the benefit of knowing your family history, wow, you're one step ahead already. You know that, you know, if you have a family history of heart disease or diabetes, that's something that you're going to need to be watching for. So definitely, you want to get in and get your lipids checked and your blood pressure checked just to see where you stand. Just because you have a family history of high blood pressure doesn't mean that it doesn't affect you. I mean, it still is very important in keeping that blood pressure down. So the benefit of knowing what your family history is that you can catch things early. You can get into treatment for whatever your issues are. You can make the changes that you need to, and hopefully that will make your life, you know, longer and healthier and
better.
happier. Yeah, right, exactly. We're dealt the hand we're dealt as far as genetics go, so you can't change it, but you can certainly slow things along, and maybe maybe heart disease isn't, you know, what you're going to have after all. So just keep an eye on it and make sure that you're doing the right things.
Well, if you become aware of those things, like high blood pressure and diabetes runs in my family,
Yep.
and okay, so what can I do to eat better? And when I took the inch-by-inch class, it's like, this is common sense eating. It isn't painful eating, it's what you should be doing. And once you become aware of that, by some simple changes, you've helped to address the issue. It's like, I'm a needle wuss, so I don't want diabetes. Like, keep me away from a needle, please.
No, you don't want diabetes if you can prevent it. And how great that, you've gotten the information that you need to eat properly. And if your blood sugar does happen to rise in the future, you'll know exactly where you need to nip that in the bud, and you'll want to watch and make sure that your weight is in a normal range and all those things.
And we have more knowledge than our parents and our grandparents did.
Absolutely, we do.
Yeah, and I imagine being in the wellness program, you see some challenges. People come in, they define some issues that they have to address. What are maybe some of the stumbling blocks that keep people from achieving their goals?
You know, I think a lot of times people will bite off more than they can chew at that particular moment. I think, you know, especially when the pressure's on to come up with some New Year's resolutions, we go from eating pie and all kinds of great old family recipes and feasting on ham and roast beef over the holidays to suddenly, I can't eat anything but lettuce for the next 6 weeks. And that's just not going to work. It doesn't work. It's not an attainable goal. And I think to just bite off smaller pieces, to make smaller changes. If smoking happens to be your issue, maybe to cut back on that, or join a Quit for Life program and try to get some help in getting that totally off your plate before you move on to the next, instead of quitting smoking and losing 50 pounds and
saying, oh, there's just too much. And
Right.
I know in interviewing some other health professionals from St. Pete's here, the one thing they said is, boy, you really need to stop smoking. If you need a surgery, they can't do surgery for like 3 days before you stop smoking. And it's
Right.
really important. But St. Pete's has classes on that, right?
We
You'll
do.
help
Quit
the
for
people.
Life is a program that is organized through St. Peter's Hospital. We run the programs periodically throughout the year. There'll be another group starting up fairly soon. I don't have a specific date for that, but if we can refer people to the website, that's where the information on the classes are. And it's a popular one and such an important program. So.
Well, and I know through my other work that support groups for individuals, if you do have diabetes, I imagine you have a diabetes group,
We do.
new mothers, new fathers, you name it.
Right.
The people who have gone through that experience already are there, and they can help you because you don't have to figure it all out yourself. And that's an important part of wellness, is that you're there to help them, right?
Exactly, exactly. And you're right about the support groups. The people tend to do a lot better with lifestyle changes if they have, a cheering squad there with them, whether it's your family or a support group through the hospital or coworkers or whatever. If you
Yeah.
can get a group kind of going together, it always seems to work a little better. You're accountable, maybe, is part of it as well.
Yeah, it all comes together. But what's
Yeah.
important is all the classes that you offer. And, if you have an issue or something, go to the website, find out what's there because you want to help them. And
Right.
Now, to get into the wellness program or what you do there, do you need a physician's referral for that?
You do not for the wellness program. The inch by inch program is an exception to that. That is one of the programs the hospital offers, but it does require a physician's referral. The wellness program itself does not. So any of the blood tests that we offer are available to anyone in the community. We do ask that you call us first because we are pretty busy and sometimes out and about, but we would love to see you. So, yep, give us a call. We can run through what the courses or what the lab tests are that we can run and what the pay scale is on those. But
Yeah.
yeah,
And if you need some help with your resolutions,
that's right.
give you guys a call too.
Absolutely.
Well,
Yeah, we'd be happy to either get you connected or see what we can do to help you out.
Oh, that's great. And
Yep.
what is interesting, we were talking off camera too, is you said that you'll do a full assessment of an individual to see how they are, I guess, in everything in their life, right? Tell us about that assessment.
Right. So that we do for people who want to come in. It's a $45 assessment, and what we'll do is have the participants go through an online questionnaire, is what it is, and it asks about all kinds of things. It asks about how many fruits and vegetables you eat, how many hours of sleep you get per night, how stressed you are at work, how stressed you are at home, all kinds of things, whether you wear a seatbelt when you're in the car. So those questions are answered, and then we do our measurements. So we'll do a blood draw and check for cholesterol and glucose and triglycerides, and do a blood pressure, a height and a weight. We can even do flexibility and grip strength and some fun tests like that. Then we put it all together back into that report, and the final product is a 14-page report with little green marks where you've done well and red marks where maybe things could be improved. But it really sums up nicely the state of your health at that point in time. So for anybody who wants to kind of check and see how they're doing on those resolutions or get a baseline and then check again next year, that would be a great way to do it. You can then compare the two reports, and it's
And as you're mentioning
great.
that seems to be what they've offered state employees about every other year. And then
Yep.
they would do a summary of various years and see how you've changed in the trend you're going towards.
Yep, that's exactly it. It's very similar to what we do with our workplace program. So when we're traveling around Helena, setting up clinics and conference rooms, that's pretty much what we do. We have them do the online questionnaire, and then we do measurements depending on how that company would like us to structure our measurements. And then they get the nice report. And as you say, it compares from year to year, which is such a great feature for people who can, pat yourself on the back for doing well, and then maybe get some ideas on how to move forward.
And say, maybe this year I need to focus on this. Well, now,
Yep.
Martha, we're drawn to a close on the show. What are
Okay.
some of the thoughts you'd like our viewers to remember about St. Pete's wellness programs and what you have to offer?
Well, I just think it's just so important to think about prevention and nipping things in the bud. I mean, you want to know what your blood pressure is and what your lipid panel looks like, what your cholesterol is. Know what your numbers are and where your risk factors are. And then you know what lifestyle changes will work best for you and what you can do to keep yourself healthy for a very, very long time. So hopefully our classes and our events around town will, sort of support whatever lifestyle changes are being made.
That you desire. Well, thank you so much for being on the show. I really appreciate this.
Thanks for having me.
I always learn a lot too.
Okay, good. Well, thank you.
Great. And again, for our viewers, we're talking about wellness and the importance of having a baseline about your body. You might have an idea that you're overweight, maybe need more exercise, need to stop smoking, all those things that we all face. Well, St. Pete's is there to help you. They have classes, they'll do an assessment, and they'll help you track what you want to do, the goals that you have. Give them a call. They can help out. For the Post of St. Pete's, I'm Brian Lamore. Thank you for joining us.